Okay, so hi Deborah, thank you very much for accepting this interview to talk about Have You Got Network.
That's my pleasure, Natasha. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Tell us a bit more about you first and how you got the idea of Have You Got Network.
Sure, okay. So I started off as an interior designer and spent years doing that and traveling and biscuit business and ended up in holiday rentals. And that was just over 13 years ago. And over those 13 years, I have turned away hundreds and hundreds of guests that I couldn't accommodate. I didn't have dates free. I didn't have properties in the location that they wanted. And it was really, really disappointing that I had to turn them away and they had to go and find their alternative, their accommodation. And I just thought, this is business that I'm turning away. What can I do? And the industry is so fragmented. I don't know. I didn't know any other managers. I didn't have anyone to turn these people to. So I decided to perhaps create a network of experienced professional managers, because the other thing about the current situation is that I was really a bit angry at the OTAs, at how much power they have over us. So I wanted to claim back some of my independence and control over how I do my bookings. So I designed Have You Got for property managers, primarily for guest referrals. So instead of turning away a guest and letting them fend for themselves, we could say, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you, I'm full or whatever, but I can help you. I'm part of a network, and maybe someone in my network will be able to provide you accommodation. Mm-hmm. And while I was designing Have You Got, it occurred to me, it's like, but why are the guests doing all the work? I mean, the idea of, okay, I'm going on holiday and I need to find accommodation, I need to find an apartment or a house. Where do you start? Of course, for some people, the first name in their head is going to be Airbnb, but there is so much choice out there, so much choice of properties, and there's so many websites for them to look at. So on average, a guest will look at on average 3 to 5 plus websites to find their ideal holiday accommodation. So I decided, well, what about if they just tell us what they want and we give them what they're looking for? Saves the search, saves them time, and it saves them money because they're going to be booking direct with the manager. So that's how Have You Got sort of came to be. It's a no search accommodation service, and it's for guest referrals for managers. And again, with the industry being so fragmented, I mean, I used to get asked about, if I have properties in Melbourne. So I have my properties in Sydney, Australia. So I get asked, do you have any properties in Melbourne? We're going there next. Or Brisbane or New Zealand. No, I just have properties in Sydney. But with Have You Got, there will be networks in Melbourne and everywhere around here. So I will be able to say, well, I don't, but I'm part of a network that can help you. Again, you don't have to search. The properties will come to you. So offering a global guest service. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter where they're going. Hopefully there'll be a network there of managers, but you'll be able to help them. Yeah.
And when did you start building this platform, this network?
Okay, so I got the pens and paper out about 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago. I had a couple of false starts, but my developers started working on it properly about a year and a half ago, or maybe, a year and a bit ago. But I have only been working on it part-time because I still have my holiday rental business that I'm running. So I've been juggling the both. And of course, I've been paying my developers, and I had to sort of pay them in bits and pieces. Like, we do 1 week of work then, and then, wait a few weeks, and okay, we'll do another week of work here, or okay, another couple of days, I can afford another couple of days. So I had to sort of like spread out the spending. But this year I decided, okay, that's it. I've spent so much money on it, and I know that it's filling such a big gap in the market and everyone needs it, that it's time I downsized my holiday rental business. And I've gotten rid of some properties. I've had to, break up with a couple of owners. I felt really bad, but, I felt like I was doing them a disservice. I wasn't giving them all the time that they needed to get bookings and things. And I had to break up with them. So I want to try to focus as much time as possible on Have You Got. So I'm in Sydney at the moment. I've been liaising with property managers here, trying to grow the network here and explain it. And then soon I'll be heading back to Europe. There are a lot of conferences and expos going on in London and in Europe. So I'll be there to spread the word about Have You Got There.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so people who are looking at this interview, usually they are like, some are guests, but usually they are property managers or property owners. So tell us who can join the network. What are the requirements to join the network? Is it free? Do they have to pay?
Okay. So as a property manager, you must be an independent business, so property manager, property owner. And by that, I mean, you must have your own terms and conditions, your own pay. You must be able to process payments by yourself. You must have your own website or at least a Facebook property page. So that way you can have a presence on Have You Got? And then when an inquiry goes out, you'll be notified if your property matches. So the idea is we're going to completely cut the OTA connection out of Have You Got? So your properties can be on Airbnb and Booking.com, of course. Mine are. They're just another marketing channel. However, I want my bookings to come to me direct. Now, even though you are paying a commission for a booking on Have You Got, you are working your way. You're getting the payment. I'm not taking any control over how you run that booking. But of course, the payment is to cover the costs of the business and whatever. I'm keeping the commission very, very low at 5%. And in fact, if you refer a guest into the system and they book within the network, you as the manager get 3% of that 5%. So this is about sharing the commission and sharing the guests. So even if you are fully booked, you can still be making income by referring guests in. You might have overflow of guests, people inquiring. So you can still make income even when you're full. So to join Have You Got is free. To upload your properties is free. I decided to go for a commission, booking commission, because I figured Have You Got is not going to do much until the network grows. I'm not going to take money from you if you're not getting anything from it. So you only pay commission when you get something from it, a booking. So the whole idea now is to build the network and get the properties on. Once there are enough properties in a particular location, then we can say, yeah, great, we're open for business in this area, whatever, for the guests and for the referrals. So the property managers, they join up, it's free, they upload their properties, and once there are enough, then they can start referring. For guests, they can come in through the haveyougot.com portal. That's their own website. And what they do is they fill in exactly the same form. They tell us exactly what they're looking for on the alert page form. And then that goes out to the managers, and the managers get notified if their properties match. And then the guest, has their own dashboard, and they can see all the properties that match that particular trip. And then they can just decide on their favorite, because they will already know that all of the properties that have come onto their dashboard for that trip have everything that they have asked for. On the quote, they will see if there is something that's not included in the property, because the manager has to say, look, we don't have a fireplace at this property, but we've got something else. It's like, wow. Yes, so they'll get to see all the properties that have been proposed to them, and then they decide on their favorite and book it. And then that puts them in touch directly with the manager or owner of that property. And then the booking is that managers or the owners, and that they process the booking their way and run with it. Yeah. So the guest is dealing with real people. They can contact them through the messaging service if they have any questions. If they want to ask if they want to speak to the owner, they want to speak to the manager about the property, they can give their phone number. The guest information is not shared initially, because if I'm putting a guest into the system, that guest, I'm not asking that guest permission. I'm just saying my network can help you. So I'm just putting their information into the system. You do not see their phone number or their email address. You get the surname as part of the unique number of the alert, but it's only once you've confirmed the booking that their information comes up. But if you want to speak to them, or if you want to give them your number, you can. The messaging service is not censored.
Okay, yes. Yeah. But it's one way, it's like protecting the customer privacy if they don't want to be spammed.
Exactly. So it's not, everyone's not getting their details. if someone is asking, it's up to the guest then if they want to give their details or not. Or they can just message through the system if they've got some questions.
Okay. And if we like do a summary of what are the actions like for property managers and also for how
okay. Okay. So for the property manager, they sign up, they upload their properties. Then if they have a guest that they can't accommodate, they can send an alert out. Now, an alert is the brief. It's taking the information of this guest and their trip. And there are 3 ways they can get this information or send out the alert. They can fill in the information themselves. If the guests have, written enough on the email, the manager can fill it in and send it out themselves. Or you can cut and paste a link on that alert and put it in your own email to the guest to say, I'm really sorry, we're full, blah, blah, blah. But click on this link and fill in the form and the properties will come to you. I offer this great service. I'm part of this great network. When they click on that link, they will come to an alert form and they will fill in the details and it will go off into the system. And if they book, you automatically get the commission. That link is back to your account. So that's the second way. The third way is there's a link that you can just click on and you just put in the guest details, their name and the email address and phone number and the dates, and click send. And that will send a generic, have you got email to them? And it says, I'm sorry, we can't help you at this time, but it's not bad news. Someone in the network can help you, etc., etc. So basically the idea is that this alert gets filled with the guest details. What do they want? What are they looking for? Where? How many people? Etc. That goes out to, and all the managers that have properties in, that fit the criteria will get alerted by email. They click on the link, they log into their dashboard. The properties are on their dashboard, which one matches. Then they click on it, they fill in the quote, that's the net accommodation, the cleaning fee, any security deposit, any taxes, any extras, etc., etc. Any feature that they don't have in this particular property or any feature that they do have. And then that's it. They send it out and it goes off to the guest. They sit around and wait, or they get on with life. And then one day you get an email saying the guest wants to book. Great. You open it up, you have a look, double check the dates and everything. Yep. Calendar's open. Great. Confirm booking. That's it. The guest is yours. You process the booking your way. If the guest has sat on the quote for a while, maybe the property got booked. So you can actually decline the booking and you're not going to be penalized. You decline the booking, the guest will be notified. They go back to their dashboard and maybe pick another property. So they've still got the other ones there. So that's one cycle for the managers. The guests have the same sort of cycle. That when they come on board, they also fill in an alert. Or if they've already been on, they have their own dashboard, they still have their own create alert button, and they tell us about their trip, and they said, have you got, it goes out to the managers get notified, they send the quotes, comes to the guest. It's exactly the same way. So whether it's the guest, it's the same no search service. So whether it's the guest coming in by themselves, or if the manager has put the guest into the system, it works exactly the same. But there's a new role that I've sort of created for this site. So on most sites, there's always the manager and owner and the guest. So what I've got now is what I've called an accommodation agent. And they are anyone who can refer a guest into the system. If you refer a guest into the system and they book, you get a commission. Now, you could be a travel agent. You could be an insurance worker. You could be just an entrepreneurial kind of person. And you have your little accommodation concierge page on Facebook and you can say, I can find you accommodation and you don't have to do any searching, and get in touch and I'll send you a link and it will come to you. And you can just sit and make commission by sending a link. Let's say, for example, your mum is going on holiday to Paris. Mum, here, fill in this alert. And the properties will come to you and she books an apartment in Paris and you get the commission. So it doesn't matter where the guest is going. It doesn't matter that you don't have properties. But if you can send a link, you create your account, but you just don't upload any properties. But if you put someone into the system and they book, you earn commission. So the idea is yeah, let's get some bookings in through the system. You know, anyone can do it. Fine. More bookings for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned that right now you're based in Sydney.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you said that you were based in Australia, in Sydney. I guess that right now, Have You Got is more based in Sydney. Tell us a bit where do you have already a big network of properties already?
I don't have a big network of properties because the industry is so fragmented, and because this is such a new service.
Mm-hmm.
I've been putting word out on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and it's so funny because some people get it. They understand it straight away. They sign up. Other people, like, I don't understand what this offers. And, okay, I send them a link to my LinkedIn article that sort of explains how it all works. I still don't understand. It's like, oh my God, I don't know how to explain this. So in fact, I'm going through a user experience project right now with some students to see how can I make this a little more clearer for people, because it is so new. It is turning the idea of the search on its head. So I have really struggled to get managers in Sydney because it's just hard, A, to get them, B, I've learned that no one does anything by email anymore. So I've had to actually make appointments and go and see them. And that seems to be very successful. As soon as I take them through Have You Got on the computer and show them, they love it. Even just today, I'm going to guess I'm going to have an extra at least 100 properties on Have You Got in the next couple of days, just from showing 2 managers, this is how it works. So my problem is I can't be in front of everyone showing them how it works. So I need to learn, how do I communicate this new idea? So this is why I'm going to exhibitions. I'm going to be standing there and trying to explain it to people coming past, maybe get some time on at conferences. So Sydney is the main one, and I wanted to get properties on here because I'm still turning away guests. So this was supposed to be like my test place. Okay, here, I've actually got I've got 5 inquiries at the moment that I can't accommodate. Now, they've come in from various places, and they're all in the twilight zone. And I was mentioning it to the property managers today. Hey, I've got 5. These are 5 bookings. Get your properties on, and then you can be in the running to get the bookings. They loved it. So, and even they said today, it's like, oh my God, we had to relocate someone, and that was a headache. And yeah, okay. And they get it, you know. It's great for relocations, double bookings, last minute. It just means that you can just put the information into the system and actually get on with your day, because we're all busy. So, yeah. So Sydney has a lot of property. I mean, I don't know about a lot of properties, but they're actually popping up all over the world. So at the moment, there's about 260 properties in Sydney and New Zealand, Bali. I don't know actually if there's in Thailand, but through Europe, Italy, Greece, Portugal, Spain, France, and England, and in America, West Coast and East Coast. Not a lot in the middle. Florida too. There's some in Florida. But the problem is that those networks are still too small. And, I've explained to them, just stay put. We need that one property to then have the second property. And that's how you start growing a network, just be patient. So I'm trying to get word out any way I can about, okay, this is how it works, and get your property on. And I'm keeping an eye on where there's going to be a cluster. And I goes like, right, that's it. We're ready to go in Nice, in France. We're ready to go in Sydney. Great. Canberra. In fact, Canberra, that's about a 4-hour drive from Sydney. That's where our Parliament House is. And I've got one manager, she's popped up there. She's actually an ex-guest of mine who became a property manager, and I helped her put her website together. And another guy. And today the property manager's here. We've got properties in Canberra too. Oh, okay. So Canberra might be the next one coming together. Great. So the problem is that everyone who's popping up, they don't really know other managers. And, are they going to pick up the phone and start doing the work for me? No. We have to, get word out through podcasts and through maybe an article, Facebook groups. We need to spread the word, because this is what collaboration is all about. We're going to be sharing guests, sharing commission. We need to find each other. We have to stop being so fragmented.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess like after this interview, I will be sure to like share it in as many groups as possible. And if
Please,
you have,
yes.
if you have something that you mentioned, that when they see the have you got dashboard and website, then they understand. Do you have a video where you show these things that I could link to the interview?
I do, but it's only a very preliminary video. I just whipped it up quickly for some managers. So, it's got emails popping up on the screen and da-da-da. But you know what? Even for now, it's better than nothing. They can see a whole cycle. But also on Have You Got, if you go to haveyougot.com or Have You Got network, there is actually how does it work videos. And it's actually a step-by-step. It shows you when you log in, first thing to do is this, how to add a property. How to add a property using Google coordinates, because what we discovered is in countryside, in Italy, in Thailand, there's no street address. You have to use Google coordinates. So, all right, okay, how do we do that on the map? So, Google coordinates. So there's how to do every step of the way. This is what it looks like. So you can, the videos are only 2 or 3 minutes each. So there's that as well. But I can give you the link for the YouTube preliminary video.
Yeah, that way they can directly see how it goes, because right now, like the purpose of this interview for you and for me is to spread the word that people know, and as many, because as you said, like it's very, very interesting, like a lot of, I can see it, and in fact, I know some of my contacts are telling me that they are doing it already, this whole thing, but they are not on your network, they are doing it like the same as me. Like I have the WhatsApp group and we ask ourselves, hey, do you have? And then you don't know, like, in fact, I have one friend, she's here, I passed her to my network because she's looking for something different than what I have. And I don't know if she gets someone who reply to her or not. You don't know if she has the booking. And you, of course,
and I think the thing about I'm going to call my friend or I'll ask my group on whatever, and I think I won't say it's the old way to do things, but it sort of is. It's like, well, I haven't got any room. Call my friend; she might have something. People, we used to do that if you knew other people, but I think this is a much more sophisticated way to say, look, I'm part of a global network, and so they know that if they have a good experience here booking something, then they might come back and use it again to book somewhere else. And this is the whole idea, to book with independent managers and owners, because the idea is to win bookings back from the OTAs. Give the guests such a good experience that they won't want to go back to the OTAs. So this is Have You Got is our collaborative OTA. It's for us. We share. We benefit, so that's the idea. But some people actually have Facebook groups, so that they actually type it in on the Facebook group, but then you have to actually go searching through the group and reading. Who's got time? This way you just send a link, and then you can follow it up later on when you've got time, after there's been a bit of action, someone's answered or not answered and you want to follow it up. So it's much more personal.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like all in one place, because of course, like Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever, you have like, at least for someone who is starting and who doesn't know about the network, then that's a great way to get more bookings or to help others get more bookings. But definitely it's like saving time, and just like it's one platform which is much better. So
and the thing is, because in the industry now there's so much talk about book direct. Now, if you want to book direct right now, where do you go? You have to go to everyone's website. But this is the one place to go to find everyone's website on the one spot, on the one platform. So instead of going to your website and their website and you come to one and it filters your websites. So they are still booking direct, but they don't have to go to numerous websites to find you.
Yes, definitely. No, definitely. It's a good way to be independent, but be part of it's a no-sale, you call it, but still be part of a place where they can be filtered and people can get what they are looking for. Yes, because if you're independent and someone is looking for something on Google, probably, then they cannot filter on Google. I mean, they can put some words, and Google is telling them this word is not in the page. Is it a word? Then like being on the network, they can get more bookings, being still independent, not being part of one of the OTA. As you say, it needs to be you always need to be always. Like, some people decide that they don't want anymore to be on the OTAs, but it's a marketing channel. Being on OTA is just a marketing. That way, afterwards, they can book direct. But if you have another platform where it's making it easier for booking direct, with the goal, as you said, to maybe not have the OTAs anymore, then it's perfect. It's definitely perfect for the guests, for people who are who don't have time, who want to have more personalized approach, and for property managers or owners who want to be part of a network of a collaboration, which is
now also remember, like you may have a guest, a return guest coming back to you, and instead of saying, oh look, I'm really sorry, you can put them into the network and you still can help them. So they already know you, they've come back to you, then they're going to meet another manager. And then at the end of the day, they may go back to that manager, but that manager may be full, or I may be full. And so they are in a zone, in a network that everyone is there to look after them, to make sure that they actually find something that's perfect for them. So this is really going to be very, very good for guests.
No, definitely, No, definitely it will be good for guests and good for property managers, because sometimes people might think, but for return guests especially, if I give it to someone else, then he will not come back to me. Yes, maybe he might not come back to you because he would maybe like something better in the other place. It's possible. But also the other property manager will think about you when he has something, because you give him business this time.
I know.
So that's the whole part of the collaboration. If we stay just in one place and we think, I better do it myself because I will earn more. Yes, but you spend more time, and this is not how it should work. The collaboration work better.
But isn't it better that if your guest comes to you and you say that you're full, that instead of saying, I can't help you, I can help you. So, when you say I might lose the guest, you're going to lose the guest if you can't help them. They are going to go to someone else. But they might come back to you if you say, well, I can't help you with my properties, but I can help you, because you're still helping. So they still may come back. And the other thing, some other managers have also said, but how do I know what sort of standard of property they're going to book if I turn them away? Now, if you turn them away, how do you know what they're going to book? You don't know. You're turning them away. So this way, you're saying, I can't help you, but I can. But at the end of the day, it is up to the guest to pick their rental. We're not saying, here we go, la, 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 boom, here's your property. We're not giving them one choice. You have a choice, and it may only be one choice if it's peak season and they have very specific requirements. But if you're not helping them through the network, then you don't have a clue what they're going to go and book. So, we're offering the service, but at the end of the day, it is the guest's responsibility to select the one that they want.
Yeah, definitely.
One more thing I'll add about scamming. So it's not on there yet, but I have got a service that I need to incorporate in when I get a bit more money and more time for the IT. But it is a facial recognition service. So every person, every manager with an account on Have You Got is going to be facially verified. They have to look at their phone, they have to look up and blink and turn left and look down and squeeze their nose and whatever. And it matches with their ID. So this way we know that they are real people. And if they're real people, then we know that their properties are real. We know who they are. So this way we can actually advertise that Have You Got is a scam-free zone. When you book a property on Have You Got, it exists. The manager exists. Now, today I had the one manager said, oh my God, but we actually did have this disaster recently when a property owner sold the property and we had a booking. And so I said, yeah, okay, this is part of the responsibility of Book Direct. If we have a booking and something happens like that, whether it's something wrong at the house, like a burst pipe, or the owner does something weird, like decides to sell, it is our responsibility to relocate that guest. But what better service to use than Have You Got? Put them back into the system. You don't have to search or panic that you need to find, my God, and more accommodation. You put them in and you actually get a commission for referring that guest into the system. So, you know, it comes in handy for crisis like that, where you have to relocate or rehouse or double bookings. Makes it bearable when you know that you've got a network behind you.
Yeah, definitely. And what's your time frame? When do you think this could?
I'm trying my hardest to get word out. I'm hoping to have another little spike when I go to England for more people to sign on. But I don't know, you know, I'm going to be based in Barcelona for a while, so I'm going to try and get Barcelona on board or more of Spain on board. One target I would love to do is Florida. There's a lot of owners and properties there. That's a very, very big market. But Have You Got is just me. So I'm still trying to learn how to do email marketing to discover that no one does emails anymore. I've got to pick up the phone. And I've got to deal with the IT, you know, talk to the IT people about it. And I've got to do my holiday rental still because I need money to live on. So I've got a pretty full plate. So this is why I'm sort of relying on these UX students. Okay, please help me make this as easy to understand for anyone. Make the landing page so people land on it and know what it means and what it does. And hopefully, you know, they'll sign up. And through word of mouth, and I'll continue to share on Facebook, and I'll continue to post on LinkedIn, and hopefully, you know, word of mouth. Someone might say, you know what, there's a property manager who's really trying to do something good for us, and it's going to cost us nothing, and we actually could benefit from it. So let's give it a go. But the problem is the fragmentation, and people don't know anyone. This is the problem. So I know a couple of big names in the industry. I know a few big names in the industry, but they don't want to share or talk about it until I have testimonials, until I have managers saying, this is brilliant, fantastic, I've got bookings or whatever. Okay, well, as soon as I've got them, then I'll definitely be sending it to all of these people that I've got lined up. They know about Have You Got, they know who I am, and then we'll get more word out.
But I think, I understand their point of view, and I'm not yet a big name, but like, I think it's all the time the same. If you don't give the chance to someone, or if you don't let the word out there, then you will never get enough referrals.
I know.
So,
and you know, it's not like there's just some random person coming along with another listing site. This is a property manager who's trying to do something really good for all of us. Because look, I built Have You Got for me. I wanted to share my guests. I wanted to help them. The commission part is a bonus, but I built it for me. Now, the other thing about Have You Got is, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but Airbnb and Booking.com and VRBO, they're all listing sites. Have You Got is not a listing site. I don't want to have to, like I said, I built Have You Got for me. I like to work smart, not hard. So I didn't want Have You Got to be yet another listing site, something else to keep up to date, another channel to, you know, put into your channel manager. No. What Have You Got is when you upload your property, you have to upload so little information. It's only one photo. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how many guests, property URL, and that's pretty much it. And what you're doing is you're creating your property business card. And the business card is what goes out to the guests with the quote. Now, what this means is that you don't have to keep anything on Have You Got up to date, because your website is always up to date. And you don't need a channel manager. So you're saving money from commissions of channel manager because it's coming direct to you. So, you know, there are a lot of positives that come about when you are actually in the industry. You know what the pain points are. And because I'm a bit lazy and I don't want things complicated, I try to make it as simple as possible.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I like the idea of not having to keep it up to date.
No, it's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect because I was thinking this is like, okay, this is good, but it's also probably what other property owners or manager will think. And you have to insist on this idea that it will not take them so much time. Like you are a new channel manager, you need to put all your properties, all your
Yeah.
pictures, blah 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 blah. No, because they already have their website, and it makes sense. It makes totally sense. Like they have their
Yeah.
website, they just put, of course, the filters, which are very important for their property to be found. But that's it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's it.
definitely great. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
So,
I
yeah.
really, the whole idea of uploading 25 photos and ticking all the boxes and all of that, I don't want to do that. That's just playing the same game. How on earth can you win against the big OTAs if you're playing the same game?
Yeah. No.
Let's change the game.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's work smart, not hard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess that's how we will end up the interview with this very nice sentence like, let's change the game, and so that we replace the OTAs and for booking direct. No, I love it. Thank you very much, Deborah, for this.
Oh, pleasure. Pleasure,
Yeah.
pleasure. My pleasure.
And anyway, if you're like watching this video and you're interested in joining the network, I will put the link for the website. Also, I will put the video where it's explaining you, if you want to see it in direct, how this is working. I will put the video below, and please join our network because this is for you, for her, for everyone. This will be better. Yeah.
And please excuse the quality of the video that I'm going to give you, the preliminary video, because I need to redo it, but I just haven't had time yet.
That's perfect. No worries.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Natasha. Thank you so much.